Hi, everybody. Welcome back to TreyFlix. I am Trey, and I am joined once again by my co host, Skyler. Say hello, Skyler.
Hey everybody.
Today, we will be talking about Nope. And as always, there will be spoilers, so this is your spoiler warning. We actually got it this time. Fuck yeah. So we'll go into a quick overview of this movie, and then we'll go from there. Nope is a sci-fi horror slash mystery that follows OJ and Emerald Haywood on their hunt to record evidence of extraterrestrial life on and around their ranch. After their father is killed by falling debris, the family's financial situation is in dire straits, forcing OJ to sell off a majority of their horses. All the while, strange things are beginning to happen around the ranch, such as electronics malfunctioning or the power shutting off completely. OJ and M see a saucer flying through the clouds and get the grand idea to try and capture it on film in hopes of selling the footage to make a profit and ease their financial hardships. Things quickly start to take a dark turn when the saucer begins abducting and consuming animals and eventually people. So we'll go into initial thoughts based on the trailer. For me, one of the things that I think is probably the biggest downfall, in my opinion, is like going into this movie, like the trailer kind of makes you think that it's going to be like an alien movie, or they're like, yeah, there's a saucer, but like there's also like creatures on the ground. But then it really just turns out the spaceship is a creature, so that's cool. It's a little disappointing, but I will say that I enjoyed the film despite that, and for what it became. What about you, Skyler?
I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I didn't really know what to expect because I haven't seen any of his other movies so far, so I was kind of just like along for the ride. But yeah, like they set it up to be a big like alien movie, like monster sort of like suspenseful. It definitely wasn't as scary as I was like thinking it was going to be with it being like a horror title. So yeah, I guess I was a little misconstrued in that just from the trailer. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of just didn't really know what to expect because I haven't seen any of his other stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Like I will say, like you should definitely go back and watch
Oh yeah,
both Get Out
they're on my
and
list.
Us, because those are some fantastic films, and we'll talk a little bit about those later. Um, but from here, we'll go into our thoughts after actually seeing the movie. So I'll put that out there right now. Like we won't go into any of the theories behind what the film is trying to portray. Obviously, we're going to leave that up to the audience to interpret in their own way, however they want to, because there are so many theories, and like who's to say what's right,
Yeah,
except for
they leave
Jordan
it
Peele
kind of
himself.
open-ended.
So
So
I'll go into some pros that I had, and then we'll push it over to you to do some pros, and then I'll switch over and do cons, and you can do cons. That works for you. So for me, like one of the biggest pros is the opening scene, which is just absolutely like chilling. It's showing Gordy's home, which is like a sitcom
yeah,
that has basically a chimp that like balloons come out and like the chimp freaks out and just basically begins destroying the set and like mauling people, and that is very grounded in reality. Like these things have happened in the past, and for me, I was like, that got really real, and so
very
so
quickly.
I really enjoyed that part. It definitely put me on edge and made me very anxious. Um, Especially like when like later on in the film they show a little bit more about that. Like Rick goes into a little more detail
Yeah,
about that, and like there's a part where Gordy is like sitting there, and like Rick's hiding under a table, and um, like it shows like the older, like one of the, I guess he's like the dad or something, who like comes down the stairs, and like Gordy sees him and he loses his mind and like chases him off the set and like kills him off the set, and like you
yeah,
don't really see it, you just hear it, and you're just like, oh god. But then like Gordy comes and he like sits down, and he takes off like the birthday hat that they've got on him, and then like he looks and like he's looking into the camera, which means like he sees Rick because we're seeing it from Rick's perspective, and like that is just like chills down my spine, just like no no no. And then
No,
so
don't
like
come near.
so then like Gordy approaches him and like goes to like give him a fist bump because like an exploding fist bump is like a big thing for them in
Yeah,
like their
that's like
universe.
their catchphrase.
Yeah.
Deal, like not catchphrase, but their thing.
But and then like Gordy gets shot in the fucking head. And like that's how that scene ends. You're just like, whoa, like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Um
That would scar that dude for life.
Dude,
I
I'm
would think.
surprised he turns out as like normal as he does, because like
Somewhat
I'd be like, I
okay,
need
yeah.
therapy after that. Like, damn. Um, so another pro for mine, I think that the pacing, especially in the beginning, is excellent. Um, you cut from the Gordy's home clip to the Pops and OJ like on the farm, like talking and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, we got this like big movie role, and like if we do well, they'll hire us for the sequel, and like we won't have to like sell any more horses. It's gonna fix all our financial trouble." And OJ's like, "Yeah, yeah, I know, I know." And then all of a sudden, like metal starts falling from the sky and like kills Pops, and you're just like, "Oh, what the fuck just
Like, what
happened?"
the hell? Yeah.
And it turns out it's like just random objects, and it ends up being like a nickel or something that like embeds in Pop's brain and
Yeah.
like kills him. And they go off and they say like, "Oh, it fell out of a plane."
Right. They were like, oh, well, gravity, if it falls from that far up, like it's gonna impale you,
which
whatever.
which I will say, like, one, if there's that much stuff falling from a plane, like obviously there's something wrong with the
Right.
plane. Like you need to be looking for like a crash.
It wasn't just a single nickel that fell.
um
A whole rainstorm.
but like from there it goes into just like weird stuff happening. And like we'll go into that a little later. Another thing, so a lot of movies say like the title in the film, um, and like it's very like cheesy and like not always great. Like I hate it honestly. However, in this film, Nope is said multiple times,
Yeah.
but it works really well, and it's super fucking funny. Like
It's kind of a little bit of like comedic relief
right,
in
right.
like the tense parts of the movie. Just like,
So
nope,
so yeah, like
nope.
so this movie is very serious, but it has a good way of breaking up like that sort of suspense with humor in a way that doesn't take away from the film, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, it's
Like
not
there's
overdone.
there's a scene where the power turns on in the barn, and so OJ goes
Oh my
to like
gosh.
look at it. And like he turns the light off and starts to walk away, and the light turns back on, and it turns back on, and
Yeah.
so he goes back and turns it off, and then like sees a figure, and then like another figure like pops out from like one of the
Yeah.
stalls, and he's just like, nope. He like starts to back off and like run away. And it turns out it's just some kids like playing a prank, but like that was super funny to me. Like I laughed really hard
Oh my god.
when I saw
That same
that.
part, like the kid pops up next to him and he just
Oh, he just
punches him.
knocks him out. Oh man,
That is
great.
exactly how I would react. So I was like, yes, thank
That
you.
was that was some really good humor that they threw in there. Um, Talked about it already a little bit, but like all the Gordy's home parts, super intense, super like anxious, and grounded in realism. I think they did a really good job with that. And it kind of like goes into the whole like, if you show like you have to be respectful, towards like animals or creatures, because like if you don't, they're gonna fuck you up.
They can kill you. Yeah.
Another really intense and horrifying part of the film for me is when all the people get abducted and stuff. Like you can hear them screaming, like they're still alive for a little bit, and then like once it stops, it's like, oh, they're dead. Like they finally died.
Ooh.
And then it's weird because like since it's a being, it's like excreting waste and stuff. So like the all the metal objects that it couldn't digest like begin to fall out and stuff. And then there's this one really creepy scene where M and Angel are hiding in the house, and like this is after everybody's been abducted, and like the screaming stops, everything falls, and then like blood starts to rain down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's gross and like creepy and like, no, thank you, please.
Oh gosh.
But so those are most of the pros for me. What do you got, Skyler?
I'm on board with a lot of that stuff. I would say the cast, like they just have a great cast for this movie. Kiki Palmer,
Mm-hmm.
like the only thing I really know her from is like an old Disney movie. So it was cool to see her grown up now, like doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
She does it well.
Oh yeah,
Um, so yeah, like I would give the cast like 10 out of 10, dude. Like so good.
yeah. I will
Um,
definitely say like the charisma between all of them, or like the chemistry, is really good.
and I can't think of the main guy's name, the guy who plays OJ, but the same guy who was in Get Out, and
Yeah.
he's been in like Black Panther and stuff too. Like, he's yes, he's a good actor. I like him. So it's cool to see that he's still sticking with like Jordan Peele and all his stuff. But no, another thing I really liked was like the movie was separated into chunks, almost like chapters, kind of, and they were all
Yeah,
tied.
yeah, they had the title cards. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah. And so it kind of gave you an idea of like what you're getting ready to be thrown into. And I don't know, it was kind of cool just like I don't think I've seen a movie that's like that in a while. So, yeah, I don't know. Pretty neat. I
All
don't have
right.
a whole lot more to say about it. It's been like a week and a half
Right,
since I've
yeah, it's
seen
been
it,
a
so I'm
while.
trying to like rack my brain a little bit. But yeah.
Okay, so from there, I guess I'll go into my cons, which, like, a lot of them aren't really necessarily like cons on the movie, more just like the storyline and like some of the decisions that the characters make, which,
Uh,
like, it falls in line with the story, but in my mind, I'm just like, that's really dumb of
yeah.
you to do that. So, like, you know, as soon as like OJ and M see that like weird stuff is happening, and they're like, "Oh, it's like what did it look like?" It's like a thing that M asked, and I wrote it down in my notes. So this is the first movie that we didn't see together. So I guess
Yeah.
we can like sprinkle in like our experience at the theater. For me, like I went and saw this last Wednesday um, at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, something like that. And I sat way in the back row, like right in the middle, and there wasn't a single person around me for like 5 rows. I think there were only like 2 other people in the theater. So that was pretty cool. So I ended up taking my phone out, and like I had the brightness all the way down. Not that it matters, but just like because there was no one around me. But so I was taking some notes on it, and one of the notes I wrote down. Uh, Let me see. Let me get back to it here. So so M's like, "What does it look like?" And he's like, "I don't know, like a UFO." And I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. It looks like like it is a
Yeah.
UFO. Like the fuck." But so like weird stuff starts happening. They're like, "We're gonna become UFO hunters," which
Yeah.
like is
Gotta
really
catch this thing and
funny.
make a big break.
Which is really funny, but at the same time, also like, why? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Um,
If it was me, I'd be like, mm-mm, I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'd be like,
move.
I'm
Like,
leaving. Like, I'm
get
packing up
the
the
hell
horses. I'm
out
getting
of
the fuck
there.
out.
I
Uh,
don't know what it is. I don't need to know what it is. Like, I'm going.
another thing that I thought was really dumb is like, Ricky's park. He knows weird things are happening, and like he knows about like the alien ship, and so he's offering up like horses to to it so people can see it or whatnot. Obviously, like
Yeah.
going back to the thing of like not respecting it, like he's using it as like just like some plaything, right?
A new attraction for
And
his park or whatever.
and
Yeah.
so of course everybody there gets abducted,
Yep.
and I'm just like, you guys are stupid. Like you should have seen that
Why would you do this?
coming. But it's really there's a scene that was in the trailer and like kind of made me think that like there was going to be something more to it than what it was. But like there's a lady with like a messed up face,
Oh yeah,
and when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, she's like a burn victim or something, right? Turns out what it really is she was one of Ricky's co-stars on Gordy's Home who had like her face mauled by Gordy, and
yeah.
that's why she looks like that. And I'm just like, oh, damn. And then it's
Oh
like, oh,
shit.
and now she's dead too.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, stupid, stupid,
Thanks,
stupid.
Rick. No, from the trailer, like that same girl that you're talking about, I thought it was gonna be like that was what the aliens looked like or something like
Right,
that. Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
was the creature that was gonna be coming after him the whole film. And obviously that was way off base, but yeah, I was kind of a little disappointed in that fact. Like, oh, it's just part of this like side plot, whatever.
Right.
But
Another scene that I thought was dumb but like really funny at the same time is like they're trying to capture footage of it, and like they've gotten a hold of God, what's his name, Holst or
oh
whatever, the
gosh,
filmmaker,
yeah,
um, and so he's trying to record with film since it like knocks out all the electricity and stuff, and they've got all these like noodle guys like hooked up to like car batteries and stuff to like give
wavy,
them a
wacky,
warning
inflatable arm tube man.
to give them a warning of when it's coming or whatnot. And this TMZ reporter shows up on like
The
this
dude on the
electric
bike,
bicycle and like this weird like Daft Punk looking stupid helmet on
yeah, reflective
and
silver
shit.
helmet.
Like it's so stupid just seeing him. And I'm like, who is this person? But then he's like, I'm a full speed into like this area, and so like when like he hits the threshold of where like I guess it's like an EMP or something
Yeah,
like
I was gonna
that,
say
like
like an
effective
EMP field.
range. Like the bike fucking like shuts off, breaks down, and like his
Flips
body goes
out.
flying. He's like a crumpled mess on the floor, and like OJ's like trying to like rescue him, and the whole time the dude's just like, "Oh, my camera! Like I need my camera." It's like, dude, your like body is broken, and you're like, "I gotta get the shot."
Yeah.
And so then he gets sucked up, and I'm like, good, like fuck that guy, like he deserved
Bye.
that. Another thing that uh, I didn't necessarily like about the story is like when Holst is like, I gotta get the perfect shot, so he like sacrifices himself,
Yeah, that was
and
so
like
dumb.
he like so I guess he gets the perfect shot, but it's not like it matters because like all that footage is gonna be lost. So like for
Maybe.
me, I mean like even if the camera falls to Earth, who's to say that that footage is gonna be usable, or like
Yeah,
to what
like
extent
who's
it's
gonna
gonna be
find it?
damaged? Which then leads into my next and last con, is when like it chases after M. So like because they don't have the footage, like she gets the big idea of like, so there's this like well thing at the beginning of the movie when they go to the park, and like as it cranks, like it takes a picture, and so she decides she's going to lure it over there and capture a picture of it, which she manages to do by using this like blow up like balloon boy thing, which is like fine, like she gets the picture or whatnot. But then the fact that like it eats the balloon boy. Oh, so before we go into that, they
I was gonna
name
say that's
it.
like in-game territory.
They name it Jean Jacket, which to
Yeah.
me I'm just like fucking why? Like of all the things you could call it, why Jean Jacket?
Because that was the
Um,
name of her horse that she wasn't allowed to train. It's like, what? What?
but
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere.
so basically like it Jean Jacket eats this balloon and like isn't able to like swallow it or whatever, and then explodes
Yeah.
and dies, and like that's how it ends. That's how the film ends, and I'm just like, I am not a huge fan of the ending. I
Yeah,
kind of
I'm in the
hated
same
it.
boat. Like, of all the things that thing has sucked up and spit back out, like keys and like attractions from the park and stuff, and
like
and
why
then a
couldn't
balloon
it
kills it. Like what?
like why couldn't it have just popped the balloon? Like I don't
Right.
understand like what part of it because like the balloon's still intact when everything's said and done. And so I'm just like, I don't really understand how that died, but okay. And I guess like I saw something that said like the reason it wasn't eating OJ when he was like looking at it was because like it had learned respect for him, like they had a mutual respect or whatever, which I guess kind of ties into whole like
Uh,
respecting like a predator or whatnot. But I also thought that that was kind of a dumb thing
yeah.
that I saw online. But yeah, from that, I'll give it off to you. Like, what are your complaints of this film?
Oh, I mean, I've kind of just been tagging along with you here. Like, I agree. The ending just kind of blew. Like, a balloon blows up the alien that can like eat everything and just spit it back out, no harm done. Like, I don't know. Seemed really like they just needed a way to end it,
Right?
and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, okay, here you go. Fuck it. um, and that whole scene too, with her like riding over to the park or whatever, and like doing all that, seemed very like, oh hey, happy coincidence, sort of like I'm just gonna do this now, and because our
Right.
plan didn't work, and I don't know, it seemed a little loose, I guess, in
Yeah.
the
Like
story like grand scheme.
the pacing of the film. So like the beginning is great. The middle gets kind of slow. Like there's some tense moments, like some very tense scenes there. But overall, like the pacing kind of slows down in the middle, and then like the ending it like picks back up. But I don't think there's a lot of substance at the end, um,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a downfall for this film. Um, so I guess like from there we'll go into final thoughts. So like I love all of Jordan Peele's movies that I like seen so far. Like even though this movie is not as good as Get Out, and it's definitely not as creepy as Us was. I think that Nope is still a solid film. I would highly recommend seeing it. Do I think that it would have been better if instead of a creature feature, it was like actually a alien sci-fi thing where like they had to like fuck with them on the ground? Yeah, I think that would have been cool. That's not the direction it went, which is fine. Um, I will say like there's a part in the movie where they realize that like the cloud hasn't moved. Like all the other clouds around it are moving, but like one cloud hasn't moved, and that's where it's hiding. And like that for me, like when I left the theater, like I couldn't help but look up at the clouds and be like,
Uh,
what if, you know? Um,
oh man, I saw a video the other day of like that exact like occurrence like in real life,
really.
and I was like, oh shit, oh no.
They're here.
Oh gosh.
um, but yeah, so I think it's a great film. Definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth spending your money on. I would give it a 4 out of 5. What about you, Skyler? What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, you and I are in the same boat. I was gonna say four as well. Um, I thought it was just fun to go and see, and like very suspenseful and stuff. Not exactly what I expected based on the trailers, but still a really good film. The ending I feel like could have used a little work, and that's why I wouldn't give it like a five. But yeah, still a good watch, and I'm excited just based off of this one to go back and watch his other stuff now, kind of having some reference as to like the stuff that he's worked on and all that. Um, so yeah, I give it a four.
Yeah, I would definitely say go back and watch Get Out and Us, and like for the viewers out there, like if you haven't seen those movies, definitely go give them a watch. Maybe after this, and then you'll be like, oh, these other movies are so much better, like so great. Not that like
Yeah,
not that this movie sucked, like it was good. There were definitely
I
some
keep
like really
hearing
creepy
that
parts.
I keep hearing that Get Out is like the best one he's put out so far. So I think that's
I
probably gonna be the first one that I watch.
I will say like I liked Get Out. Um, However, I think my favorite one is Us, just because it's like there's like a twist ending, and it's really creepy, and it really kind of like makes you question your reality. I'm not gonna ruin it for you, Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's like a kind of a turn, and you're just like, ooh, and then like you're not really sure at the end like what's what anymore. Which you'll
Okay.
understand more like when you watch it.
See, I
But
like that
yeah.
kind of stuff, and I feel like we didn't really get that sort of thing in this movie and Nope. So, yeah, that's kind of disappointing. But
Also, for those viewers, there is a previous movie review of us on the channel that we did way back when it came out. I'll link that in the description. You can go watch that. It might be time for an updated version of that, Skyler. If you want to do that at some point, like
when
we
I finally
could.
watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, until next time, guys, I think that is going to do it for us and for this review. The next film I think we're going to go see is Bullet Train.
Yeah.
So that looks fun, a lot of action, some humor mixed in, could be good. It's got Brad Pitt.
Look at a Brad Pitt in
A little
there.
bit of Brad Pitt. But yeah, until next time, guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm pretty all right. Skyler?
Doing good.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.